Hey people, I'm 5 beers and 4 shots tequila in, and I just come back and put up this movie, and I'm getting my best response ever. I'm getting more like ratio on it than I ever have. So maybe I need to get my drinks in before I make my movies. Usually I find something, I make a movie, and then I go celebrate and get something to eat and get my beer tequila fix. But this time I found something. It was great, and I felt so good about figuring this out that I had to go get my fix before I come to make my movie. So this question come on this movie to remind you of God, and I was afraid that this cover might pull a lot of Christians to watch this, because my channel, I'm not trying to reach the Christians. I'm trying to reach the people that are rebelling the Bible because of the poor interpretation. But the writings, the original writings, are for them. But she asked me, my name is Laura, but the Lord added H at the end. Could you tell me what it means? I think in Hebrew it means the breath of God. So this is the easiest one ever. LAW is the law, and Ra is the sun. The law of the sun. The law of the sun is, if you sell your soul to the devil today, you're going to have a new Ra, a new soul, a new sun tomorrow. Forget about the past. It's the new day, the law of Ra. And this word Lord, it comes from lo, is thou shalt not, and RD means to read. Thou shalt not read. The word they give Lord most of the time is Yahweh, Jehovah, and it means you. And so if you can read, you read it as you, and if you can't read, you go to the King James Version, and it means Lord, I can't read. Thou shalt not read. And I know this sounds crazy, but I don't make this up. I just read it. It comes from Exodus 20 in the Hebrew here. Lo, not, thou shalt not murder. No tracks. Lo, thou shalt not to nap. No napping. And lo, to nab. GNB, the nab. Thou shalt not to nab. So I told you in that last short movie, I was going to show you in here the meaning of these words. The has Satan. And I told you last movie or so, that I was reading in the book of Solomon, and I told you it was the oldest. But most of your scholars will tell you that, the book of Job is the oldest. They'll say they'll tell you it's like 3,500 years old. So what led me to this? My last movies I was reading in the book of Psalms, book of Songs of Solomon 6, and I told you I was going to. I read about 4 or 5 of the lines, and I told you I was going to do the whole thing. It was just 13 lines. And I ran into a line, I think maybe in one, I wasn't too sure of the meaning. And so I went back to the beginning of the book of Songs, and I read the whole Songs of Solomon last night. Probably took about 10 hours in the Hebrew, after researching the words. And that's what made me think of this. But I think this is one of the first movies I did on the book of Songs 6, where I was showing you where it says, shovey. It was teaching me these markings, these hatches in this writing here, where it was saying shovey, shovey, shovey. Jesus, the time loses to limit. And it's talking about, being in the traffic jam. You're in the traffic jam and you're shoving your way through. And so he hollers, Solomon, he is a great, 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 great ancestor of Jesus. He's way up the line. But Jesus is the name he was hollering on, this is Shovey, S-H-U-V-I, S-H-U-V-Y, Shovey, Shovey, Shovey. And then this line up here has you read this the third time, Shovey. And this is what this line was doing, is teaching you how to save time by using these marks. If you're cutting in stone, you want to do everything you can to save time. So it reads a third time here with this mark, Shovey. And then this mark tells you just grab the last I. And so that's Jes. And the S with the dot over here is Se. And then the dot says another one. So it's Jes. Jesus, the time lose. This mark tells you to go the other way now. The time. And then Luse, the lose, to limit. And so Jesus is an ancient word in the time of Solomon, and it meant to put a fire underneath it. When you're driving down the road, you're late for work, and somebody's in front of you, you holler out the window, Jesus, get the hell out the way. Jesus means quick, to make the fire. And then the double S, consume. To make the fire consume, it means to put a fire under it. You see it in these ancient images of Jesus, with the heart on fire. The heart on fire. And so, if you was in Vietnam, you might have seen this. You pull up to a little town and you try to get some information from them. You looking for soldiers hidden in there. You're looking for the enemy, And if the town, if they acted like they was hiding something, they weren't willing. In ancient times, you drove your army in and you went to collect taxes. If the town wasn't coming up to pay their taxes quick enough, you hollered on Jesus to make the fires consume. Jesus, set the town ablaze, to get some fire in their ass, to get them moving. We're here to collect taxes and we ain't got time. Set fire to their ass. And that's the command, Jesus. It's the Yod, the I, to make, and then E, the, and then Shin, the S, the fires, S, to consume, to make the fires consume. Jesus is the command to burn the city, get these people moving, put some fire in their ass. So, oh Lord means, oh, I can't read, I don't know, Lord. And Jesus is hurry the hell up. Shovey, shovey, shovey. Jesus, the time lose to limit. Set fire to it. Shoveys of he, when has give back me. Use hatches to bashes in time, BSSH, BSHSH, to bashes in time lose to limit. Use the hatches. The hatches are the marks that tell you how to read the letter again instead of having to write a whole new word. I put this line here and it means read this word twice, shovey, shovey. To use the hatches, the little small doors that that the little crack in the traffic that you can shoot through to keep somebody from shoveys of he to has the back, to push you back. You go through a little hatch to come halt the machine. So this word, Jesus, is very similar here to the word Satan. And it's here in this book they call Job 1:6. There was a day when came the sons of God to present themselves before Yahweh. And came also his. It's not just Satan, but there's two S's here. The hiss them. They use different words when people talk all through the Bible. And he said, Amr and Yammer. And answered is Yon. But when Satan speaks, it's a hiss. Like a fire. Something's burning, it's hissing. Hiss. Seething. It's not Satan. This is the TH, the tet. S-E-T-H. Seething. In fact, this isn't even an N. This is pronounced as an M on the end. It's see them. And so I'm going to read all this beginning of this chapter in a movie where it talks about Satan a lot in here. And it twisted around different ways with the markings. But, it's basically, when somebody hollers last call and you're out here drinking with your 50 friends and they not ready to stop, they're seething, they're hissing, not happy. We're not happy that President Biden says everybody has to have a vaccination or you won't be able to fly. The people, they're seething. They're hissing hot like fire. And as to this in Hebrew means the breath of God, every word I look up, first I just pronounce it the way I read it and see how it pulls up. And it usually comes up first as a name. I have to look a little harder to find the word. But the name always has something to do with God, the strength of God, the wisdom of God. But God, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with, and the Word was. And so you just remove the word God and put Word in there. All those words that are God are the Word. So when they tell you that Ramiel means the thunder of God, no, it's the thunder word. When you're going to scare somebody, you sneak up behind them and you holler, Ra. The thunder of God, the thunder word. So I told you in that last movie in the Song of Solomon that I was going to read the rest of that chapter, but I'm going to get sidetracked again. I got to go to this job. This 3,500-year-old book, they say it's the oldest book of the Bible. And it's going to blow your mind just how English they were speaking back then. And I'm going to read, enough lines down here until it explains Satan and this cockajoe. And so 3,500 years ago, they understood this cockajoe and they explained it. But this cockajoe, he only comes from the Americas. All the cockajoes come from South America. There's no cockajoes in Europe, in Egypt, in Africa. It tells me 3,500 years ago that these riders and sailors was traveling the Americas. Which there's many words in the Bible that I find plants and species that's only found in the Americas. But this one really reads plain. It's really easy to see. And they give it absolutely no meaning at all, thus did. But it's the cockajoes, J-O-S-E, cockajoes. The cockajoe is a short-tailed monkey, short-tailed red-faced monkey from South America. And hopefully I'll be able to backtrack through here and find where it talks about the importance of the meaning of names. John, J-U-N, the Zion, X-J-U-N.
Don't forget, I won't forget.
Alright, I'm going to cut this off here. Good day.